Look into an empty cockpit. The props are spinning, the plane is flying, but there is absolutely no one at the controls. This was not science fiction. This was August 1944, the birth of the most secret robotic weapon of World War II. The mission was desperate. Turn aging heavy bombers into giant, remote-controlled flying kamikaze drones. Workers stripped the aircraft to the absolute bone. Every single piece of armor and weapon was removed to save weight. In that empty space, they packed 10 tons of Torpex, an explosive holding twice the blast power of conventional TNT. Engineers laced the entire payload with miles of detonation cords, turning the airframe into a ticking nuclear-level nightmare. To guide this weapon, they installed primitive pneumatic servos onto the steering yoke, connected to a heavy television camera. But the robots could not take off on their own. The primitive radio link was too weak to lift 30 tons of metal. 2 volunteer pilots had to climb inside, men wearing heavy leather jackets and goggles, facing a potential death sentence. 6:45 a.m. The engines roar to maximum power. The entire airframe vibrates under the brutal pressure of the explosives. The heavy bomber accelerates down the runway. The landing gear strains, almost crushing the tires into the wet concrete. With a thunderous roar, the flying bomb lifts off. It climbs slowly, fighting gravity and its own deadly payload. 7:10 a.m., reaching 2,000 feet above the English clouds. The CQ-17 mothership arrives to take over. Invisible radio waves lock onto the drone. Mechanical servos in the empty cabin twitch, testing the remote connection. Now comes the most dangerous part. The crew must physically arm the active fuses inside the explosive bay. 7:15 a.m. Fuses armed. The pilots open the emergency escape hatch, looking down at the freezing void. They bail out, one after the other, diving into the wind, leaving a 30-ton bomb flying completely alone. 7:30 a.m. The ghost ship crosses the English Channel, a mechanical monster driven only by a distant operator. Inside the mothership, a radio operator stares at a crude, flickering television monitor, the first electronic eye in history. But early robotics was a deadly trap. Radio interference could instantly break the link, turning the bomb into an uncontrolled menace. The drone hits the French coast. German flak explodes in the sky, chewing the air with black smoke and shrapnel. 8:15 a.m. The target appears through the static, the massive German Nazi V-3 concrete bunker at Mimoyecques. The operator locks the radio signal. The mothership forces the ghost drone into a steep, vertical dive. 20,000 pounds of explosives scream towards Earth at terminal velocity. The metal skin is ripping under the stress. Impact. The first robotic strike ends in a blinding inferno, a forgotten blueprint that changed the face of warfare forever.